Parashorvins and retrogrades. Yo, 50,000 subscribers strong. The channel is at this point, and boy, are we excited about it. We're so happy to have you with us. Thank you, all Parashorvins and retrogrades, for making this show 50,000 subscribers strong. As promised, it only took about a month to close the deal on the last subscribers we needed to get to 50,000 subscribers. There's going to be two major announcements, the first of which just momentarily will be revealed, and the second of which we'll do at the end of the show. I can't say what it means to me, what it means to Steph, and the intimate friends of this show besides the stakeholders in the intellectual property or whatever, what it means to have 50,000 subscribers out there on YouTube who are willing, who have stuck the course with us, who've stayed afloat with us, saying 100% of the truth. And I know that when you're talking publicly and you're willing to say, I'm going to say 85% of it and cut off the rough edges for 15% or even 10% or even 5%, that there's a disproportionate demographic share of viewership you can pick up by cutting off 10 or even 5% of the most harsh aspect of the message. And we have never done that. And so it means a lot to hit a milestone like 50,000 subscribers. I've always insisted from day one running this channel, no censorship. If someone who is a crowdfunder or one of the many tech channels needed to do this full time, which I do now, I have to be willing to dispense with it. So, in Weber's spirit of capitalism, he cites a thinker who says that, wealth is not bad as long as it's worn like a light cloak and it doesn't become an iron cage, the wealth that you have. That's how we use technology here at Rules for Retrogrades, and that's how we regard saying things that please people. It's great when I do a show and you guys are excited. I'm excited. I do shows and it doesn't gel with everyone. Just now it sounds like E. Michael Jones has declared Taylor Marshall and me like the equivalent of anti-pope. I'm just hearing that from my friend Joe. I'm not trying to displease people, particularly folks like Jones who have said such important things, whom I respect. Now, there's a lot of people out there I don't respect that talk nonsense, nonstop, just nothing but noise on the internet, because the internet's a mean place. And I'm not trying to make any of these people mad, but it's 100% of the truth all the time. And you're with this guy on X, me. You knew me from the days on Taylor Marshall's channel. We're together lockstep on X, on Pope Francis, and on Go to the Latin Mass. But then there's small divergences between me and X, and then so you focus on saying why, which might have been the divergence with that other guy, and then you start building rapport with this kind of audience, but then they don't like Z, and then you go to Alpha. And you say that, and the Z people don't like alpha, and you go to beta, and the alpha people don't like beta, and you're building audiences around the message, sub-audiences. And most of what I'm saying goes together. We call it Roman Catholicism. It all goes together. Conservative Roman Catholicism, trad Roman Catholicism, whatever it is. It's a worldview, but there's not perfect consensus. Even among trad Catholics. Whatever, they thought I should condemn, the Novus Ordo Mass, or they thought I should condemn, say Pope Francis isn't the Pope, or other ones thought, you should never be able to appeal to Canon 212 to critique the Pope. Novus Ordo and trad Catholics alike aren't harsh enough on the main issue in society, which is feminism. It's rotting families from the inside out. And the fact that we've hit 50K means a lot to me. It means a lot more to me because we've never shorn a point, even if it means these fellow travelers are going to be alienated. Well, that's fine. I don't celebrate it, but we just have to do 100% of the truth. We've had a lot of people that say, we want to work with you, but do 95%. All we need you to do is shear off 5%. And I'm like, you don't know how tempting that is. I'm flesh and blood, but can't do it. And that's how everyone tells me business is done. You take the 95% and you go with the big names. You go on the big channels. I've been on the big names and big channels. But it means extra much that you guys have stuck with it for 50,000, however far we end up getting. If we get all the way to 100, great. If not, if I get kicked off before then, great. The big message, there are 4 pillars of this channel. It's re-education through, in some ways, through classical education. And other people would say, no education, don't go to college. Homeschool your kids, have them marry as young as you can get them married off. So education. Right-wing community organizing is the other pillar. The other one is subsidiarity. I have books on each of these 4 pillars. And the last one that's really preoccupied my efforts and my labors and my time over the last 2 years has been patriarchy, which fits like a wink and a smile with subsidiarity. And that's the big one. That's been the big one where people get alienated, even right-wing Catholics are like, that this is too much of the truth. You can't say it all the time. I don't care what St. Paul said in the Bible. I don't care what the church has taught for 2,000 years. I don't care what all the 20th century popes say about feminism. That's been the issue that has really set this channel apart. I mean, people will say, wow, you're really going to stump for subsidiarity in Catholic Republic. Isn't this too close to classical liberalism, man? No, I don't care whether you consider it too close or whatever. It's distinguishable. Maybe it's close, maybe it's not. But here's what it is, subsidiarity. Okay, well, that's how I kind of started out, was with my first book, Catholic Republic. It's my favorite book that I've written. But what's preoccupied my labors and will continue to do so over the next year is feminism, patriarchy, the foils. And it's going to do so over the course of the next year in a new way. And I promised that this would inform the essential part of my first announcement today. And I'd just like to tend to it. What do you think, Steffi? Steph's not on her mic as usual.
I agree.
So let's do it. Let's tend to big announcement, 50,000 subscribers. Number 1, let's roll that tape.
No one is happy until they live in accordance with the natural law. And yet there seems to be nothing more dangerous than to describe what a woman truly is and ought to be. But let's give it a shot.
Yo, so that is the world premiere of the trailer put together by the talented man to my left, Mr. Nicholas Stumphauser, for a movie that's going to be released in fall called What a Woman Is. Nick.
Timothy.
Yo, you're here in studio, and of course we podcast together on Fridays.
Yeah, but I followed you out here.
Yeah, so you're moving into your place today. You've moved to Hattiesburg, and you're director of 6 films. This is going to be lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7. That's good.
And yeah, so we're I mean, we put this thing together all fall and have been. I mean, I'm the guy that pitched you. What about a movie on the bookcase for patriarchy? And we spent fall running around and trying to arrange things. Would you want to say anything about that? It's gonna break the internet.
Yeah, well, I was listening to your preamble, and I thought it was funny that Catholic Republic is your favorite book and your favorite subject, which aligns, of course, with the stuff you studied the most. But I'm reminded of many stories, Harry Potter being one of them, Lord of the Rings being one of them, where oftentimes responsibility is put on somebody's shoulders and they never asked for it. And even though this isn't your favorite subject of the subjects, I know you're very passionate about it, and it seems like the mantle has been placed on your shoulder to carry the torch as far as you possibly can in this lifetime. I think I told you, man, how long ago was it? I said, if all you did your entire life was patriarchy, it would have been a life well lived. Do you remember when I told you that?
Yeah, like 2 months ago.
And that's true. And so, man, 6 months ago, you put the bug on my ear. He's like, hey, what if we adapted the case for patriarchy? And I thought about it. I didn't really understand how that would be the case. And then you brought it up again. Hey, what if we adapted the case for patriarchy? And I really took a deep dive into the material with you. And we realized that 5% adherence that matters so much, nobody's willing to talk about. And it's the 5% that matters most, and it's the 5% that's most interesting to everybody. And it sounds glib to say like, oh, your work has impacted my life. Like, your work has deeply transformed my life, and I know it's impacted many people's lives. 50,000, obviously, subscribers. But to like transform a life, to change someone's life, that's what we're going to highlight in this film. And it's something that I care deeply about because I'm a romantic. I know you're a romantic at heart, and we love love. And really, the subject of all of this is, don't be confused about love. Don't be confused about what you are so that you can have true love. So this isn't going to be a provocateur movie. We're not trying to just inflame people. We're trying to give them hope and clarity about who they are. And if, like it says in the clip with the dulcet tones of whoever that narrator may have been, that until you live in accordance with that natural law, you're not going to be happy.
Right.
And so I'm very excited that even though I keep saying, man, I really want to get out of doc work, and you dragged me back into doc work, that I think this is a doc that, instead of just scaring the crap out of people, oh, you're going to die, which, the doc work I've done in the past, I'm exceptionally proud of. I stand behind all of what I've put into the world, but it was about the worst parts of the world. And this isn't a woman-hating film. This isn't a man-hating film. This is a human-loving film and a love-loving film. And that just gets me endlessly excited.